BTS News Today. Gimpo Airport that morning looked like a world split into two. On one side, passengers rushed through their routines, while on the other, dozens of cameras had been standing still since dawn, waiting, humming with impatience. Reporters, bloggers, fan sites, and even regular travelers caught in the chaos were all anticipating the arrival of the one name that would become the reason the internet exploded for more than 12 straight hours. The name was simple, but its impact was seismic. Park Jimin. Since rumors of his departure leaked early that morning, ARMY instantly sensed that something about this schedule felt different. There was no official confirmation from HYBE, no staff announcement, no relevant agenda on any public calendar. Instead, the entire morning felt like a countdown to a mystery planted on purpose. And at exactly 9:03, when the automatic glass doors in the VIP area slid open slowly, the atmosphere snapped into silence. Not only ARMY, even the airport staff paused mid-step. Then Jimin appeared. He walked in slowly, yet it was enough to freeze the ticking seconds on the digital clocks in the lobby. Behind the dark tint of his sunglasses, the world seemed to swell with anticipation. Jimin's airport fashion today wasn't merely an outfit. It was a message. It was a code. It was something that made everyone ask, why is he wearing that today? For whom? For what? Jimin wore an oversized black bomber jacket that looked slightly too big, wrapping around him like someone trying to guard a cold that couldn't be seen. Underneath, a thin gray hoodie peeked from the collar, a layering that felt too deliberate to be anything but personal. But ARMY knew. This wasn't a stylist's plan. This was Jimin's own taste. There was something intimate in the way he clutched the strap of his sling bag hanging on one shoulder, like someone used to carrying silent burdens. Even his cream cargo pants looked too immaculate for a casual flight, too polished for a spontaneous trip, too thought out to be accidental. But none of that was the reason his name detonated across every global platform. Not the expensive bomber jacket. Not the sunglasses shielding half his face. Not even the gentle way he moved, like a breeze brushing through the morning light. What made him go viral was one tiny detail that no one noticed at first, until a fan site wielding a 600mm lens uploaded an Ultra HD photo to X, Twitter. Within 4 minutes, the photo had surpassed 4 million views, and only 7 minutes later, global trending topics flipped upside down, drowning political headlines in a sea of Jimin's name. The detail was a ring. Not just any ring. A ring he had never worn before. A simple silver band, slightly thick, no gemstones, minimalist, yet striking against his otherwise all-black aesthetic. It was placed on the ring finger of his left hand, and the world caught fire. Comments raged like a storm. I've never seen that ring. Did Jimin buy it? Or was it a gift? Why that finger? Why today? Is that why he's traveling? Who's he meeting? The internet spiraled into chaos, but the story didn't stop with the ring. As Jimin walked past the check-in area, several reporters noticed he kept holding the strap of his bag with his right hand, as if purposely leaving his left hand, his ringed hand, visible to every camera, as though he wanted to show something, as though he wanted someone to see it. His entire aura felt too calm, too personal, too introspective, like someone carrying a quiet message behind every step. 10 minutes after he entered immigration, an airport staff member mentioned something that escalated the theories even further. Jimin had arrived without his manager. There was no black HYB van dropping him off, no personal security guard, no schedule coordinator. Jimin came alone. He even walked in holding his own passport, something that almost never happened during official schedules. This alone raised countless questions. If this was work-related, why was he alone? If it was personal, why did he dress like a runway star? And if this was for a project, where was the team usually assigned to accompany him? Some fans suspected it might be related to a new solo project, especially with rumors that Jimin and Jikook had been preparing something secretly over the past few weeks. But those were just whispers, nothing proven. ARMY kept connecting dots anyway, because the relationship between Jimin and Jikook was always a puzzle with no instruction manual, full of clues and emotional undercurrents. Yet the real shock came from Jimin's expression as he passed the crowd. He didn't smile like usual, didn't wave, didn't do his soft little greetings. Instead, he stared ahead, occasionally lifting his chin, as if hiding emotions. Even beneath his mysterious dark outfit, his eyes appeared slightly glassy. A reporter standing closest later told local media that Jimin's eyes looked like someone who had been thinking all night. That alone sent ARMY into a frenzy, because ARMY knows Jimin. They know he isn't silent without a reason. They know when something weighs on him, his aura shifts into something softer but heavier. And that morning, that aura radiated outward. But the real drama began when two fans near the entrance uploaded an 11-second video that became the most analyzed clip in Korea within minutes. In the video, Jimin could be seen turning his head toward the outer doors right before entering the immigration section. And not just turning, he smiled. A small, faint smile, but unmistakably real. The kind of smile someone makes when they see something or someone that means a lot to them. Immediately, theories erupted. People believed he wasn't looking at fans, reporters, or HYB staff. He was smiling at someone else. Even Japanese media, coincidentally on site for another assignment, picked up the story. Park Jimin seen smiling at someone before departure. Who was it? No one could answer, not yet. Not until someone uploaded a piece of CCTV footage that should never have been released. And that was when the real mystery began to unravel. The discovery of the handwritten initials on Jimin's bag tag, those two letters, JK, sent the entire online sphere into complete hysteria. It wasn't just a trend anymore. It was a phenomenon spiraling into an emotional, chaotic, and almost cinematic storyline that felt too perfectly timed to be accidental. Some fans tried to reason that JK might have stood for someone else, some unrelated name or code. But deep down, no one truly believed that. Not when all the clues pointed in the same direction. Not when the silhouette on the CCTV resembled someone too familiar. Not when the ring had already shifted the atmosphere into something undeniably intimate. Still, while the world was combusting in speculation, Jimin walked down the jet bridge with the calm grace of someone who had already accepted the storm waiting behind him. The airport windows lined the passageway like mirrors, reflecting his oversized jacket, the soft fall of his hoodie, and the unmistakable glint of the silver ring under the morning light. He looked like a man walking through two worlds at once, the public world that watched his every move, and the private world where only one person knew the full story. He stepped onto the plane, bowed politely to the flight attendants, and disappeared into the first-class cabin. A flight attendant later told a colleague that Jimin's tone was soft, almost whisper-like, as if he were conserving energy or emotion. Another claimed that Jimin clutched the strap of his bag tighter than usual, as though guarding something precious inside. Once seated, Jimin placed his bag on his lap instead of overhead, and for a brief moment he touched the tag again. His fingers lingered on the handwritten initials. Anyone who saw that gesture would know, it wasn't casual. It wasn't unconscious. It was delicate, careful, almost reverent. Then he leaned back, closed his eyes, and let out a slow, deep breath that seemed to carry the weight of everything unsaid. The plane began its taxi toward the runway. Engines hummed, lights dimmed, and somewhere above the clouds, the world below continued to erupt with questions that only grew louder.